Today I'm going to be covering a different starter code wherein you can actually start off with a very good legendary, and this legendary will actually carry you guys because he can also be a great campaign farmer. Right now it is a very great time to create a brand new account because you get your first ever free legendary, which is going to be Ezio. Now Ezio will be giving you guys a ton and a ton of poisons. As you can see, he'll give you poisons, poison sensitivity, and for the later game on PvP, he will also give you bombs, which means you can actually destroy other people's stone skin quite fast. His A1 has a decreased defense, cannot be resisted if they are under a veil or a perfect veil, and then on his A3, he has a buff steal and has a very hard hitting A3 because he will ignore defense as well as shield and strengthen buffs. And whenever an enemy's HP drops below 25% after receiving damage from any assassin, they receive additional bonus. So basically, if there are more than one assassins in your team, the passives on these champions will go crazy. And on this guy's ascension skill, as you can see, he will place a perfect veil on himself for 2 turns at the start of each round. So pretty much he will always have this decreased defense up. You don't actually need any accuracy because again, it's not resistible if they are under a veil or a perfect veil buff. And to make this champion even better for you guys in the early game, he will bring you guys a nice 19% speed aura in all battles. Now the next legendary that you will be getting, which is from the code the moment you download it, is going to be a very hard-hitting dwarf champion, Tholin. Now Tholin is going to be super solid, and you can even check out his reviews. As you can see, he will be very good in every single part of the game. Now why is that? That is because his A1 is going to be super hard-hitting. It is an AoE, and can also place weaken debuff, and he will also grant an extra turn for himself if the weaken is actually placed on every single enemy. This means this champion has a possible chance of actually taking 2 turns in a row, and he is also a very good option for your first 60 on a brand new account because he is very hard hitting and his A1 is going to be AoE, which means you can actually campaign farm very quick. On his A2, he has a double hitter. It will hit very hard because it ignores defense, and it also decreases the attack of the enemy. And he can also increase his own, which means this is going to be better for clan boss or hydras, something that actually lasts longer, because you can actually decrease the boss's attack by 25% and increasing his own attack by 50%. If you take a look at his base attack, you can see it's nearly 1.7k, which is one of the highest, and it's very good for a base attack for an attack champion. Then on the A3, as you can see right here, it is going to be another AoE. This time it's going to be a double hitter. Before attacking, he's going to place an increased attack on himself. And for each critical hit landed on the first hit, increases the damage dealt on the second hit by 10%. Which means this skill has a potential chance of stacking very high multipliers and possibly one-shotting all of your enemies. Which is why, like I said earlier, he is going to be the best nuker option out of all of the free codes that you can actually download. I will be comparing him to some other codes that you can actually download, don't you guys worry, so that you can actually evaluate yourself. Would you rather have this champion as your first ever 60 because he's going to be a very good campaign farmer, a damage stealer, or would you rather have a different code which can actually give you more utility as for more damage? Now in that code, you will get Tholin, right? But you'll also be getting 3 amazing epics. One of those epics was my favorite champion back in the very early days of Raidshadowlegends, wherein Razin was actually still usable. Comment down below if you guys were actually playing during that time when Razin is actually still a great champion. It is going to be Miscreated Monster. On his A1, it is going to be a double hitter with a stun. So there is a chance of a stun on each hit. And he also has a chance of placing decreased defense if the stun is actually placed. Not a bad A1 for an epic champion, and can definitely help you guys out in dungeon progression. It makes it even better because his kit also brings an AoE stun, and the shield, this is one of the highest shield possible on any champion. You need to make Miscreated Monster hit very hard though because his shield actually scales off the damage inflicted. This guy is one of the best spider champions out there because he will give you an AoE stun, and the shield he actually gives you is actually crazy to the point that the spiderlings cannot actually deal enough damage to break the shield as long as your champions are in a good spot, of course. And on the A3, it gets even better because he places an ally protection buff on all allies and also continues healing on himself with a 50% heal for himself as well. Which means he is an amazing spider tank and spider support. And not only that, of course, he's going to be ridiculously overpowered for any dungeon wave progression. His passive makes it even better for his ally protection because he places a fear debuff on the attacker for 1 turn whenever an ally is attacked while under an ally protection buff. This pretty much means when your champions actually get hit while they're under an ally protection, they get a fear. And when you have the fear, on the enemy's next turn, it has a 50% chance of just disappearing. So basically, there is a 50% chance for the enemy to just waste a turn. And his aura is even better if you guys are interested in building some type of cheese tank teams in Arena, because he increases it by 33% in Arena battles. Very, very great epic champion from the Knights Revenant faction. But of course, we can't end that off yet because we still got 2 other epics which are going to be very, very good. The next epic that you will be getting is going to be Venomage. Now, Venomage is so iconic because he is such a clan boss specialist, a dragon specialist, and can actually help you guys out in wave clearing. Believe it or not, Venomage can actually solo Dragon 20 and can even solo Dragon hard if he is in very, very good gear. And as you can see, on his A1, it's nothing special. He destroys enemy max HP and has an insta activation for the poisons. But on the A2, this is where his clan boss and dragon specialty comes in. He brings decreased attack and decreased defense as long as the enemy is under a poison debuff. And on his A3, it is going to be an AoE double poison and heal reduction. Now, not only is the poison going to be very good, don't look down on this heal reduction. That is because enemies under heal reduction debuffs inflict 15% less damage. You guys do not know how overpowered this passive is for the clan boss. The clan boss basically has a minus 15% attack already because he already brings the damage reduction. And when he also brings the decreased attack, it makes the boss hit even less. And you can also stack his passive with other champions. And his aura will also help you guys out very good in the early game because it's going to give you guys an ally accuracy in all battles by 45. So this champion is going to be very good, and of course he's going to be from the Lizardman faction. And for the last champion in this link, before we actually move on to another promo that you can get, which means you can get 3 legendaries from this start, last champion is going to be the Demon Spawn Allure. Now, Allure is one of the most iconic normal Fire Knight champions because her A1 triple hitter decreases the target's turn meter by 25% on each critical hit. So she can actually bring 100% crit rate, and if she has 100% crit rate, on Fire Knight 20, the boss cannot actually take a single turn because of Allure's A1. She also works up to stage 25 or Fire Knight, but it is much harder to pull off. And of course, in hard Fire Knight, she is no longer useful because you need to actually freeze the boss to decrease the turn meter. But Allure overall is going to be very good, and she can actually help you guys in wave content because she can also bring you guys an AoE decreased defense and also a possible sleep. And this critical hit is also quite useful for some wave content in case like an enemy is about to take a turn. It is on a random, by the way, it's not a triple hit guaranteed, it's on random champions, so it can be like 3 on 1 champion, 1 on 3 champions, or 2 in 1 champion, 1 in 1 champion, something like that. Basically, this champion is actually going to be much better for Fire Knight, but she can help you guys out for wave content. And this A3 is actually quite garbage, we don't really care about that. And then her accuracy aura only works in faction trips by 50. Then, when you come over here, of course, when you create the account, you can also come over here to the promo code section, and you can actually apply some of these codes. And my number 1 recommendation for you guys is going to be the Void Legendary Tuhanarak. Now, Tuhanarak is going to be very good because she can actually bring you the decreased speed on the A1 with continuous healing on herself, and then another continuous healing buff on the ally with the lowest HP. This makes her such a good utility champion in the very early game, especially when you're progressing through campaign, because the mobs there actually hit quite hard. And in order to actually 3-star brutal campaign, Tuhanarak is going to be very useful. On her A2, it is another single hitter, but this one's actually quite unique because we can put decreased attack and block buffs, but she also applies debuff spread, which means she can actually put block buffs on all of the heads in Hydra with the decreased attack, or even in wave content, she can just put decreased attack and block buffs on every single champion. Now, keep in mind this debuff spread is going to be random, so if there are, let's say, 4 different debuffs on the enemy champion, it is going to be RNG based, but if she is the first one to actually use this, it is going to be always a guaranteed decreased attack and block buffs. On her A3, very good, one of the best skills in the game because you can actually get increased speed and increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. And both of these buffs together makes this skill so overpowered because these 2 are the most important buffs you actually need in the clan boss department, which is basically what you need to be focusing on. Focus all your resources on clan boss because clan boss is the only way you're going to actually play this game properly. And that is why I really recommend you guys using Tuhanarak. Now, Tuhanarak also works the same as Doom Priest. She can cleanse 1 random debuff from all allies at the start of each turn, and can actually cleanse 2 of them if they're under a continuous heal. Keep in mind, this continuous heal does not actually need to be placed from 200 rack. If another champion plays it, it will also work. And her accuracy aura is going to be super good because it's going to be a 70 ally accuracy in all battles. Makes her very, very good everywhere in the game because this 70 accuracy will actually boost your progression by a lot in the early game. And for some other codes, if you guys are wondering the other codes, make sure you guys do check out my other videos on the channel for a full guide. But pretty much the other champions available are going to be just poisoners, so such as Corvus. Corvus is going to be much, much better if you're talking about clan boss because he'll bring you a ton of poisons. Debuff extension, buff extension. Narma is another champion that you can get. But just check out my other videos for a more in-depth guide. And that is pretty much it. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. The link will be down below in the description, and I'll see you all in the next video.